Okay, this will be a very brief video of brief example on how to find the x-intercepts of an equation and the y-intercepts. Now let's start with the x-intercept because it's, I wouldn't say slightly more complicated, it just requires one more step once you have an equation. Okay, so let's say you have this equation, you have y equals 2x minus 3, and you're asked to find the x-intercept. Well, what is the x-intercept? Well, if you think of a line, it's going to be the point where that line crosses the x-axis, right? So if you draw an axis over here, and let's say we have a random line, this section right here is going to be the x-intercept because that is where the line crosses the x-axis. All right, let's make this better. Let's put the arrows, the x and the y up here. All right, now if you look at this point, the y value is not 1 or 2 or -2 or -4 or whatever. It's exactly y equals 0. You're always going to have an x-intercept at y equals 0. So that first step that I was referring to earlier is to set y in the equation as 0. All right, so if you set y to be 0, then you would have 0 equals 2x minus 3. Now all you have to do is solve the equation. Solve for x, and that is going to be your x-intercept. All right, you add 3 to both sides, you end up with 3 equals 2x. You divide by 2 on both sides, these 2's cancel out, and you have x on one side, 3 over 2 on the other side. So the x-intercept for this equation, y equals 2x minus 3, is x equals 3 over 2. That is the x-intercept. I've already gone over the y-intercept in earlier videos, and that is just the b value of the equation. That is whenever x equals 0, right? The x-intercept is when y equals 0, and the y-intercept is whenever x equals 0. Why is it always going to be the b value? Well, if you set x equals to 0, you have 2 times 0, that's just 0, and then you have 0 minus 3, which is -3. Then you have 0 minus 3, which is -3, which is what you already have written there. You don't need to do all those steps. You can just say that y equals -3 is the y-intercept. Okay, so here you have the x-intercept, and here you have the y-intercept. Pretty straightforward.